We were developing and updating the Cedar Rapids, Iowa travel demand model. And so we wanted to make sure that the data that we had was as good as we could get. So we decided to go with StreetLight and utilize some of that. So if you want to go to the next slide, to really look at and enhance the model to evaluate what we call district to district movements, like David showed for the city of Madison in their model update, really understand what those different travel patterns are across the region and enhance that demand model to improve that and get those fully represented. Cedar Rapids has the unique feature, like many Midwestern cities, of a water feature through it with the Cedar River. So there was an opportunity across that river to use screen line summaries. And then we also wanted to look at those special generators. So if you want to go to the next slide, Martin, we can talk about that or show you kind of how we use that. And so the challenge was to understand those origin and destination patterns from the regional perspective. And you can see that in the example here of the zone structure, the district structure that we set up around the municipality of Cedar Rapids, and those narrow bands that you see on the outside are the external districts that we had. And so we looked at each of those districts and the travel to that. You can see that in this case, the insights within StreetLight is showing how much travel is between each of those districts, and so we could correlate that with how travel is moving through the Cedar Rapids regional area in that pattern. So you can see that it's heaviest in the kind of the northwest section and the lightest as we move to kind of the exterior and easterly districts. So how did we use then this data? Next slide, Martin. If we kind of talk about, click it one more time, we can bring up some words that are supposed to be here. We have, well, on the next slide. Well, this is an example of a trip table that comes out of the insights. And what we did is what we tend to do on these demand model sides of things, because we've got an interface with the demand model. We usually use that through a spreadsheet. We can take the patterns that the StreetLight develops based on our districts and careful placement of those zones to correlate the same TAZs within our demand model. We can export that. If you go click it one more time for me, Martin, we can actually show how the StreetLight looks relative trip percentages of the total trip table is shown on the top within StreetLight, and you can see the same kind of pattern is shown within the model. You can see in the kind of the I'll call it the upper left corner of the matrix, where between zones 5 and you know that there are some trips that are missing, and so this is where StreetLight was able to identify some of those really kind of local specific things that what's happening in the field that the demand model may not be picking up due to its gravity-based things. So we can adjust that demand model to represent what's being shown in StreetLight and that field data, and make that demand model better represent the field conditions.